Beneath the veneer of everyday politics and the bustling life of a superpower, a covert narrative is being scripted. This isn't the next blockbuster political drama. It's the unfolding reality of the United States, a reality that could forever alter the fabric of American democracy. Today, we dive into the heart of a hidden agenda, meticulously crafted by the radical right, aimed at redefining the very principles of freedom and governance. This narrative isn't about a single policy shift or legislative change. It's about a fundamental overhaul of the rights and values we hold dear. From the education our children receive, to our sacred right to vote. From the collective strength of workers to the sanctity of our environment and the very essence of our social fabric. Every thread of the American tapestry is under scrutiny, vulnerable to a radical reweaving. Join us as we peel back the layers of this clandestine strategy, designed not just to change policies, but to rewire the core ideals of an entire nation. We're not merely observers in this tale. We're the very fabric it seeks to alter. This is more than a story. It's a critical examination of a stealthy blueprint for America. A blueprint that's being unfurled one policy, one law, one election at a time. The future is being drafted in the shadows, and the stakes are nothing less than the soul of a nation. Beneath the surface of everyday politics lies a hidden realm where the architects of a new America are at work. These masterminds, operating beyond the public eye, are drafting a blueprint that could redefine the nation. Who are these architects, you might wonder? They aren't the faces you see in the headlines. Instead, they wield their influence from the shadows, shaping policies and ideologies without drawing attention to themselves. At the core of their mission is a principle that seems innocuous on the surface: the supremacy of individual liberty, especially from government intervention. But this isn't the liberty of speech, choice, or life as we commonly understand it. It's the unfettered freedom of markets, devoid of regulation. The seeds of their grand plan were sown in the quiet corridors of academia and the closed doors of influential think tanks. Here, in these halls of thought and power, a vision for a radically different America took shape, one where market liberty overrides collective needs. Like grandmasters in a game of chess, these architects meticulously plan their moves, well aware that their vision for America's future is not one to be openly contested. It's a vision that demands a stealthy, strategic implementation, away from the democratic spotlight. But what drives a person to redraw the contours of a nation? Is it a steadfast belief in their ideology, or the allure of shaping society's rules? The motives are as complex as the individuals themselves, intertwined with the very fabric of ambition and belief. As we delve deeper into this narrative, remember, the transformations being proposed are not mere policy shifts. They represent a fundamental reshaping of American life, felt by millions. The architects behind this blueprint are not just redesigning policies. They're meticulously reconstructing the American dream. As these architects of change operate from the shadows, the next chapter of our narrative unfolds with the meticulous, stealthy execution of a master plan. A plan so comprehensive it weaves through the very fabric of governance and public life, often leaving no trace. This strategy doesn't announce its presence with grand declarations. Instead, it infiltrates the pillars of democracy and public policy, piece by piece, subtly altering the landscape. This is a game of influence and power. Played over decades, its moves hidden in plain sight. Influence is the currency of this plan. It seeps into academia, where future leaders are molded, into think tanks, where ideas are crafted into policy, and into the halls of power, where laws are made. Each step is carefully orchestrated to shift the balance towards a new vision for America. With each policy shift, the blueprint becomes more tangible. Tax reforms that skew in favor of the elite, cloaked in promises of economic growth. Deregulation that prioritizes corporate profit over the public good. Education systems upended by privatization, eroding the foundation of public knowledge. Behind each policy change lies a fragment of the grand plan. Voting rights constricted, silencing voices, labor unions dismantled, weakening collective strength. Environmental safeguards stripped away, prioritizing exploitation over preservation. But at the core of this intricate plan lies its most audacious target: democracy itself. Not through blatant assaults, but through a gradual erosion of its foundations. Gerrymandering, voter suppression, the undermining of checks and balances, each act a calculated strike against the power of the majority. This is the art of incremental change, where each move may seem inconsequential alone, but together they form a pattern. A pattern that, over time, reshapes the very essence of governance and freedom in America. The bombshell book, Democracy in Chains by Nancy MacLean, reveals that James McGill Buchanan, an economist whose theories became the cornerstone of a movement poised to redefine the balance of power and governance, is at the center of this story. Buchanan's intellectual odyssey found fertile ground at institutions like George Mason University, transforming it into a citadel of libertarian thought. Within its halls, the seeds of a radical new vision for America were sown, nurtured by the belief in the supremacy of market freedom and the minimization of public oversight. The narrative weaves through the corridors of influential think tanks such as the Cato Institute, the Heritage Foundation, and the American Enterprise Institute. These bastions of ideology served as the crucibles for policies and strategies, crafting from the raw ores of theory the weapons of political and economic change. Policies emerged from these hallowed halls like chess moves in a grand game, each one a calculated strike in the campaign to reshape the nation. Tax reforms designed to funnel wealth upwards, deregulation efforts that unshackled the might of industry from environmental and ethical constraints, and educational reforms that sought to privatize a cornerstone of democracy, public education. As the pages of Democracy in Chains turn, so too does the revelation of a meticulously drafted blueprint for a reimagined America. It's a narrative where individuals like Charles Koch emerge not just as businessmen, but as architects of a new political landscape, investing not just in industries, but in the very fabric of political ideology and action. This book, and the journey it invites us on, is not just a recounting of events and names. It's an exploration of the silent currents that have shaped, and continue to shape, the riverbed of American democracy. It's a call to peer beneath the surface, to understand the forces that move beneath the calm waters of public discourse, shaping the course of a nation's destiny. As we stand back and witness this master plan unfold, we're compelled to confront a crucial question. Is this the future we envisioned for our democracy? Is this the legacy we wish to bequeath to future generations? In the shadow of a grand plan that seeks to reshape the very soul of our nation, a counter-movement emerges, fueled by the collective heartbeat of democracy. From the bustling streets of cities to the quiet corners of small towns, voices rise in unison, a chorus of defiance against the silent transformation of their cherished democracy. These are not just protesters. They are guardians of an ideal, warriors for justice. The battlefront is everywhere, in town halls, where citizens hold their representatives accountable, in the courts, where legal battles are waged to protect the rights of the silenced, on the streets, where peaceful protests become the embodiment of democracy in action. Each victory, no matter how small, is a beacon of hope. A community rallies to save its school, preserving the sanctity of public education. A court decision upholds the right to vote, reaffirming the principle of one person, one vote. A local campaign reverses a policy, proving that collective action can reshape the agenda. Innovation meets tradition in the arsenal of democracy. Digital platforms become stages for mobilization, while age-old tactics of organizing and canvassing regain their power. In this symphony of resistance, every note counts, every voice adds to the chorus. As we witness the unfolding of this counter-movement, we're reminded of the resilience that defines us. In the face of a master plan that seeks to redraw the essence of our nation, the spirit of democracy burns brighter, fueled by the unwavering belief in the principles of liberty, equality, and justice for all. The blueprint may be vast and the architects determined, but the power of the collective will is mightier. This is our democracy, our nation, and our future at stake. The question remains, will you join the chorus of defiance? Each candle lit in the name of freedom, each voice raised in the defense of rights, adds to a chorus that spans across the country. It's a reminder that in the quest for a just and equitable world, no one stands alone. Together, we form a bulwark against the tides that seek to erode the foundations of our shared values. As we stand at this crossroads, facing the blueprint that seeks to redraw the very essence of our societies, we're reminded of the power of our united front. In the global fight for democracy, every action counts. As we navigate the intricate web of strategies and counter-strategies that define our times, we arrive at a pivotal juncture. The blueprint for a reimagined America, and indeed the world, lays bare the profound implications of our collective choices. What hangs in the balance is nothing less than the future of our democratic ideals. Every policy altered, every right challenged, every voice silenced, resonates through the fabric of our daily lives, shaping the world in which we live, the education our children receive, and the environment we pass on to future generations. Before us lie diverging paths. One road leads to a landscape where the few dictate the fate of the many, where the air we breathe, the rights we cherish, and the communities we build are governed by the interests of a privileged elite. The other path opens to a horizon of equity and inclusivity, where democracy flourishes in the vibrant discourse of its citizens, and the stewardship of the earth is a collective endeavor. The legacy of those who came before us, who stood at their own crossroads and chose the path of justice and equality, reminds us of the power of collective action. Their victories, born of perseverance and unity, light our way, inspiring us to carry forward the torch of democracy. In the grand scheme of history, each of us holds a thread, an opportunity to weave into the fabric of our society the values we hold dear. The blueprint for our future is not fixed. It is drawn and redrawn with every action we take and every decision we make. As we stand at this critical juncture, the question before us is profound yet simple. What kind of future do we wish to create? The answer lies in the strength of our convictions, the actions of our daily lives, and our unwavering commitment to a world that honors the dignity and worth of every individual. The journey ahead is ours to chart. Together, with resolve and unity, we can forge a future that reflects the best of who we are and all that we aspire to be. The time to act is now, for in our hands lies the pen that will write the next chapter of our shared story. As we draw the curtains on this journey through the hidden corridors of power and the spirited streets of resistance, we are reminded that the story of democracy is an ongoing saga, written by the hands of its people. In the dance of democracy, every step matters. From the silent machinations of the few to the resounding voices of the many, the balance of our collective future sways with the rhythm of our actions and choices. The architects of change, both hidden and heralded, remind us that the power to shape our world resides not in the lofty echelons of power, but in the heart of the community, in the spirit of the individual, and in the unyielding bonds of our shared humanity. As we stand at the dawn of a new chapter, let us carry forward the light of those who came before us, their struggles and triumphs a beacon in our quest for a more just, equitable, and sustainable world. The path ahead is ours to forge, guided by the lessons of the past and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. In the end, the story of democracy is not just about the battles fought in the halls of power. It's about the everyday acts of courage, kindness, and conviction that illuminate the darkest corners of our world. It's about the unwavering belief in the possibility of a better future for ourselves and for the generations to come. Our journey today, rich with intrigue and the vibrant pulse of democracy, is but a single thread in a vast tapestry. It is inspired by the meticulous research and profound insights of Nancy MacLean, whose seminal work, Democracy in Chains, delves into the shadows where the future of our democratic ideals is being quietly, yet decisively, contested. In the spirit of continued exploration and the quest for knowledge, we are honored to partner with Audible, the esteemed guardian of storytelling, and a beacon for those who seek to journey through the realms of thought and history. Democracy in Chains awaits your discovery on Audible, narrated with the depth and passion the story demands. We extend a heartfelt invitation to you, our fellow travelers in the quest for understanding and insight, to join us in this deeper exploration. By subscribing to Audible through the link in our description, you not only embark on a journey through the pages of Democracy in Chains, but also support the tapestry of narratives we weave together in our shared pursuit of knowledge. Together, through the medium of storytelling and the boundless worlds of books, we can continue to illuminate the dark corners of history, challenge the silent currents of power, and celebrate the indomitable spirit of inquiry and democracy. If this journey has ignited a spark within you, if the echoes of our shared narrative resonate in the corridors of your heart, we invite you to join our growing community. Subscribe to our channel, and together, let us explore the stories that shape our world, the ideas that challenge us, and the possibilities that lie ahead. Engage with us, share your thoughts, your hopes, and your visions for the future in the comments below. Every perspective enriches the conversation. Every insight brings us closer to understanding the complex mosaic of our collective journey. And stay tuned, for our journey together is just beginning. Upcoming episodes promise to delve deeper into the untold stories of true conspiracies that shape our shared understanding of the past, the unfolding realities of our present, and the unwritten possibilities of our future. Your engagement, your curiosity, fuels our exploration. Thank you for your time, your openness, and your willingness to journey with us. Subscribe, engage, and be part of the ongoing story of us all. Together, we are not just observers of history, we are its authors.